forgot to make the day the time changes, the first day of summer.
What?
Well, it's 8 o'clock and it's still light.
Now, a lot of good the extra daylight does us. We still have a 3-hour drive back. We're not gonna be home until after midnight.
If it bugged you so much, Johnny, you wouldn't do it.
You think I want to spend Sunday on a scene like this? You know, I think we're either gonna have to move Mother out here or move the grave into Pittsburgh.
She can't make a trip like this.
Oh, tell me she can't. Is there any of that candy left?
No.
Oh, look at this thing. We still remember. I don't. You know, I don't even remember what the man looks like.
It takes you 5 minutes, Johnny.
Yeah, 5 minutes to put the wreath on the grave and 6 hours to drive back and forth. Mother wants to remember, so we trot 200 miles into the country and she stays at home.
Well, we're here now, John, all right? Which row is it in?
Well, there's no one around here.
Well, if you'd gotten up earlier...
I already lost an hour of sleep with the time change.
You know, I think you complain just to hear yourself talk. Here it is.
I wonder what happened to the one from last year. Each year we spend good money on these things. We come out here and the one from last year's gone.
Well, the flowers die and the caretaker or somebody takes them away.
Yeah. We'll spit and polish, clean this up, and then sell it again next year. I wonder how many times we bought the same one. Come on, Barb. Church was this morning, huh? I mean, praying's for church, huh?
I haven't seen you in church lately.
Oh, well. There's not much sense in my going to church. Do you remember one time we were out here? We were young, right over there. I jumped out at you from behind the tree, and Grandpa, he got all excited, and he shook his fist at me, and he said, "Boy, you'll be damned to hell!" Remember that? It's right over there. Oh, boy. Oh, we used to really be scared here.
Johnny.
You're still afraid.
Stop it now, I mean it.
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
Stop it, you're ignorant.
They're coming for you, Barbara.
Stop it, you're acting like a child.
They're coming for you. Look, here comes one of them now.
He'll hear you.
Here he comes now. I'm getting out of here.
Johnny! Johnny, help me! Help me! I'm sorry!
Well, good evening. I'm James Jarman with KRDO News Channel 13. We apologize for interrupting, but clearly something terrible is happening on the eastern seaboard. There's been a wave of murders. Now, it appears that creatures are eating humans. The first reports that were coming in, of course, were simply just unbelievable. That's all we can report about that, is that we were getting eyewitness accounts from people who were clearly incoherent, screaming, just they didn't seem credible at all, but these reports continue to come in, so we can't discount them anymore. It does appear that humans are being eaten by some sort of creature. Now, the medical examinations of the victims have bore out the fact that they were eaten, at least partially devoured. I think we do have some late word just arriving now into the studio, and it is being confirmed that this latest discourse from the National Civil Defense Headquarters in Washington confirms that people who have recently died have been returning back to life and committing acts of murder. Now they've continued this transcript here with information saying that there have been an investigation into reports from funeral homes, morgues, and hospitals, and they have concluded that the unburied dead are coming back to life. Now, obviously, this is hard for us to report. It's hard for us to even believe. As we mentioned, we had discounted the fact from witnesses earlier because it just seemed too unbelievable. But now it does appear that this is happening, that the dead are coming back to life. Now, we have been advising you to stay behind locked doors for your own safety, but the civil defense machinery is organized now, and they're providing rescue stations for people with food, shelter, medical treatment, and protection by the National Guard. Now, stay tuned, of course, to KRDO News Channel 13, and we're going to have a list of those shelters for the ones that are closest to you. We're going to be flashing those up on the screen throughout the night here, and as long as we can at least stay on the air with you. Also, we've just learned that an emergency meeting has been set up with the President, the CIA, the FBI, the Joint Chiefs of Staff. Now, also, space experts are being called in. The big question there, why are they calling space experts in on this? Now, this may have something to do with that satellite to Venus. It was a recent Explorer mission, and as we can recall, that satellite was supposed to come back to Earth, but it never got here. The space vehicle that orbited Venus was purposely shot down by NASA. Now, they said they shot it down, at least, when scientists discovered that there may have been some sort of mysterious high-level radiation associated with it. Now, could this radiation, though, have something to do with what we're seeing here, with what we're suffering? And joining us now is Dr. Grimes. And Dr. Grimes, your staff has been working on this along with you to try and figure out exactly what's happening. Do we have any answers at this time?
We have some answers, but let me stress the importance of seeking medical attention for anyone who's been injured in any way. We don't know yet what complications might result from such injuries, but to allay these complications, it would help if people would get their flu shot, be adequately immunized, make sure that they're healthy, that they exercise every day, they eat their fruits and veggies, that they get plenty of sleep, and that they have good sexual health.
Well, that's some good information. Now, I'm glad you mentioned the flu shots, because some people had been talking about that, wondering if that might have had something to do with this. A lot of conspiracy theorists, we can now say that that didn't have anything to do with what we're seeing now. The government's saying that it does appear perhaps to be something with radiation, with this Venus probe. What have you heard?
Well, the Venus probe did carry an unusual amount of radiation. Certainly enough to cause mutations. At the university in the cold room, we had a cadaver from which all 4 limbs had been amputated. Sometime early this morning, it opened its eyes and began to move its trunk. It was dead. It opened its eyes and tried to move. Any dead body should be disposed of at once, preferably by cremation, and then people should wash their hands with soap and water.
Now, how long then after death are the bodies being reanimated? How long do we have?
We don't know for sure. It might be a matter of minutes.
Minutes. That doesn't give anybody hardly any time at all.
No, you're right. It doesn't give them time to make funeral arrangements. The bodies must be carried out to the street and then burned. They must be burned immediately. Soak them in gasoline and burn them. The bereaved will have to forego the dubious comforts that a funeral service will give. They're just dead flesh and dangerous, and maybe not soap and water. Maybe hand sanitizer would work better.
Dr. Grimes, thanks so much. And you're going to stay with us throughout the day, throughout the night, and keep us updated with the latest you have. And of course, we're going to get those emergency shelters up on the air as soon as we can. Of course, this is KRDO News Channel 13 with this breaking news update. We'll, of course, keep you updated. As soon as we get more information, we'll bring it to you live.
This is Brenda Bardot coming to you live, W11 CLTV News. At this time, government officials say increasing levels of radiation are turning dead bodies back into zombies, back to life that is. They can only be killed by cremation. At this time, government officials, such as local law enforcement agencies, have been called out to handle these monsters.
Make sure you get that thing all the way in the fire. We don't want it getting up again. You got it, Chief.
Government officials say the only way to kill these is by shooting them in the head or by bashing in their brains. To kill the monster is to kill the brain. Chief McClellan.
That's McClellan, Sheriff McClellan.
McClellan, how are things going here?
Oh, it's not going too bad. The men are taking it pretty well. You know, we killed 19 of them here today, all right in this area. The last few you saw there, the ones that we carried over there, we caught them trying to claw their way into an empty shed over there. Must have thought somebody was inside. There wasn't, though. We heard them making a bunch of noise, came over, beat them off, blasted them down.
Hey, Chief!
Yeah!
We're heading over this way.
All right, hey, why don't you get on the other side of that road over there, bring the dogs in, and check out that pole barn.
If we were surrounded by 6 or 8 of these, do you think we could make it?
Oh, there's no problem. If you got a gun, shoot them in the head. That's a sure way of killing them. If you don't have a gun, get yourself a club or a torch. Beat them or burn them. They go up pretty easy.
How long do you think it'll take before you have the situation under control?
Well, we don't really know. We don't know how many of them there are. We do know if we find them, we can kill them.
Are they all slow going?
Oh, yeah, they're dead. They're all messed up.
Do you think you'll have this situation taken care of in 24 hours?
Well, we don't know that either. We're working our way over toward Willard. When we get over there, we're supposed to team up with a National Guard unit over there. Once we do that, we'll probably have a better view.
Okay, thank you, Chief. Thank you. This is Brenda, W11 TV News, signing off.